Okay, good morning, everybody, for Saturday, the 19th of August. Well, for probably the fourth or fifth weekend in a row, low pressure is providing us with a bit of a headache, but I'm pleased to say that that cold front has started to move through the country now and introducing with it a much fresher and much more unstable southwesterly flow, though with the pressure rising a little bit, actually a good window for this weekend at last. Those winds at height looking generally between 25 knots or so across most parts of the country from the southwest. Satellite picture over the UK reveals a sort of mixed start at the moment. We've got some sort of low cloud in certain parts of the sky, but it is brighter, sort of downwind of here, even some evidence of wave probably occurring in this air mass. So yeah, if the thermals appear a little bit strange, that probably would explain why. The Met Office currently showing 20 degrees being the top temperature with sunny intervals, reasonably good visibility, but as you can see, quite a strong southwesterly wind at around 15 knots or so. Not too gusty, but enough that it will make landings a little bit more challenging. Across the country then, yeah, sort of 20 degrees in our area, or maybe even 21 or 22 if you get lucky. To the northeast, where the task area is better, 25 degrees possible, but probably on the outer edges. Dew points will reduce, but will remain in double figures today. So yeah, sort of 12 or 13 looking across the task area. Currently Lasham, temperature 17, dew point of 14. And David did update this yesterday, sort of talking about it being soarable by late morning, and then East Anglia, as is often the case in this wind direction, being the driest and best to go flying in. That's the picture outside currently. If I just reload it, some chances of sunshine, but if I'm honest, generally low cloud currently. Potential flight distance for today then, and you can see in our area, not so good down to the southwest, pretty much to the north and northeast looking best, unless you fancy an out return to London. And through the day today, yeah, it is going to take a little bit of time to cook up, but maybe by 11 or 12 o'clock we get up to 3,000 feet QNH. This afternoon, getting up to 3,500 foot QNH. Bit more chance of some drier air out towards the northeast, a more sort of shallow Q, occasional blue. Directly to the north of us, looking like it gets up to about 4,000 feet and peaking really in East Anglia this afternoon at about 3 o'clock with cloud base of 5,500 feet. But in our area, it does look like it is going to remain that little bit more moist and the temperature is a bit down. So I'll be surprised if we see a cloud base of more than 4,000 feet in our area. Continuing to go through the day, maritime air will probably cut us off around 6 o'clock or so. It will remain reasonably good out into East Anglia for a few hours yet. But yeah, it does look like you'll probably want to be starting to get onto glide by about 5:30 or so at the very latest for Lasham. Elsewhere, you can see no particular need to go to the south coast or southwest or northwest. So yeah, your real task area is north and northeast today. Site forecasts, just to give you an overview then at Lasham, and weak to moderate thermals with that southwesterly wind up to around 20 knots. It's predicting a top temperature of 23 degrees. So yeah, those cloud bases really being as good as it's going to get in this area. And looking at Farnborough, scattered at 1,800 currently being reported and broken to 8. The headline figure today being some showers first thing and then scattered at 3,000 feet. We look further upwind, so Luton doesn't really show anything in particular actually. But somewhere like Norwich, for example, is still at 1,200 feet. But yeah, brightening up fairly quickly this morning. Airspace wise, I'll come on to local airspace shortly. But air display at Wing Farm in Wiltshire this evening. That's down past Salisbury. Lots of paragliding no terms, I think these are, or environmental avoids, but yeah, there might be some paragliding going on in the Vale of Pewsey. We've got quite a few gliding competitions on at the moment. One starting today is Granston Lodge. Battle of Britain Memorial flight will be floating about in the Cambridgeshire area during the day. More of note, though, are the 2 restricted area temporaries which are in place for today, which are, if I bring them up on my PowerPoint slide, second, hide. Here we go. Restricted area temporaries at Old Warden and Eastbourne for today. So yeah, do bear that in mind. If I look at the Old Warden one, that would be probably the one of most note to you guys today. And it does look like that there is a restricted area temporary in there from this evening, but the ATZ is likely to be active for a good part of the day. So yeah, probably a good idea to give Old Warden a reasonable berth. As well as Granston Lodge, Cambridge Gliding Club, the Junior Nationals are starting there. Although sadly, I am too old now to fly that. Finally, today, the Red Arrows are based at Odium. There's no airspace at Odium today, but 8 or 9 Hawk T1s will be flying around. They're going from Odium to Eastbourne to display and be back a little bit later, as you can see there. And it does look like they will then be again off to Southend at about 20 to 8. The Odeon will be operating runway 27 today, so worth just bearing that in mind. If you are coming back on a final glide at the end of the day, you're probably going to be joined up with a load of Red Arrows. Operationally today, well, I'm not the duty instructor. I'm just covering this briefing with staff being on holiday. But it looks like it'll be runway 23. Merv is your duty instructor. Yeah, runway 23. And air towing from here. I don't really think there's an option to grid today because of the strength of the wind. So yeah, runway 23. No jet movements that we're aware of. Enjoy your day. See you tomorrow.